Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Haugen's Galleries and Shortstop Burgers and Fries. For more information on Haugen's Galleries and their official branding photography, go to haugensgallery.com. And for more information on Shortstops and their incredible hamburger shakes and fries, go to southpawspizza.com. Hello. Woohoo! Second show of the new year. I am so excited. Man, 2023 is going to be incredible. Are you ready? My word of the year is opportunity. And I think that this year is going to be loaded. In fact, I know it's going to be loaded with opportunities. Every day that we wake up is loaded with opportunities. So glad to have you here this morning on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. And I have an incredible guest this morning. Going to give you a little more information before we get to him, but Harry Turner is a nocturnal therapist. I said those words together. There you go. Harry Turner is an amazing man, and you're going to want to hear all that he has to say. Super excited about having him on today. But before we get to that, I just want to remind you, we're here every Monday and Thursday on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get the shows right. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Monday and Thursday, And if you happen to miss it, because I know so many people actually have to work, actually have lives outside of just watching live streams, it sits on the platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube forever. You can go back and watch the replays. The broadcast links we give you for the live broadcast can be utilized for replay. You can go back and you can watch it to your heart's content. I really encourage you to just please subscribe on YouTube. And I'll tell you why. If you subscribe on YouTube, not only do you get notices about the upcoming content, but you also get access to all of the past content. And there's a huge library of past episodes of Marketing with Russ, Russ Reels Live, all my live streams, and you can watch them. You can binge Marketing with Russ. Who needs Netflix, right? There you go. So, and the easiest way to do that, just go to marketingwithruss.live. That's marketingwithruss.live, and it'll take you directly to my YouTube page. There you go. Hit subscribe. Do that now. If you're watching, hit subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to that page, I'd appreciate that. I also want to tell you, I love to connect. Last year I had a goal of connecting with at least 1,000 new people, and I just knocked that right out of the park. Yes, I did. And we're going to do that again this year. Another 1,000 new people. I would love for you to be one of them. So go to russhedge.com. I'll give you all the ways to connect with me on social media, my email, my phone number. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar to connect with me. We can Zoom and meet. We can see each other and talk no matter where you are in the world. And I am just so blessed by a wonderful worldwide community. So Super excited about the opportunity this year just to meet you and meet all the new people. If you are watching this live or on replay, I want to ask you to please do me a favor and share, share, share. Hit that share button now. Send it out and say, listen, guys, Harry's coming on. Harry Turner is going to be here in just a few minutes. You got to watch. So share that out so people know what's going on. Even if you're watching on replay, share it out and say, you missed it, but you can still watch it. So that would be so fabulous. Love for you to do that. Last but not least, I just want to remind you that if you have not got a copy of my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, I would love for you to pick up a copy. It's a great way for me to encourage you in book form how to live the life you choose, how to make good choices every day, how to keep a positive mindset, how to have purpose and drive in your life to move forward and do amazing things. Because, I believe truly that God put a little bit of amazing in every person. And I know you have amazing just ready to burst out. You know that my wire purpose in life is to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. And what do I mean by that? I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to get out there and use those God-given talents to do amazing things. So I would love to help you with that. Go to russhedge.com today. Let's connect, and I'd love to help you out. So that is enough about me, and I'm going to just get this show started. We're going to bring Harry in. He's all ready to go. He's wide awake. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
How you doing?
I am delighted to be here. Delighted to be here. I think I was telling you backstage, but I didn't finish. I forgot to tell you this part. It was nothing but God that woke me up and prepared me to be on this show. Again, I didn't hear any alarm go off, and I was ready. Not one alarm went off, but something else woke me up, and I'm nocturnal by nature. So, these are some prime. This is like my last. I'm on the cusp of my last hour. Right before I jump into the next day. But anyway,
Right.
I'm happy to be here, brother.
Oh man, I am so glad you're here. We had such an amazing conversation, but I think it's been a couple weeks ago now, and I just knew immediately that I needed to have you on one of my live streams. And I'm just so excited about all the stuff that you're doing. And by the way, I love your voice. You have the most soothing, I think I told you this before. You have the most soothing, really good radio voice. You'd be just outstanding. Or we'll get you live streaming, one or the other. But tell everybody a little bit about you. Who is Harry? What is this Nocturnal Therapist business, and what are you up to?
I appreciate all of that, and I receive it. I appreciate everything you said, brother, and I really receive it. It's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you here. So I am a clinical psychotherapist, and that's one business, the School of Outliers, and the reason why I'm here, that's my influencer business. But the my clinical practice, where I do psychotherapy, the difference between a psychotherapist and a therapist is a psychotherapist looks into typically the entire person's the total history of a person. So those foundation years of 0 through 7, where it's the imprint phase, and then 7 through 14, where it's the role modeling phase, there are certain algorithms, codes that get written into the foundation of how we perceive life. And so a psychotherapist is really into understanding that foundation, seeing where there's cracks in the foundation and helping to fill in the gaps. So that's my clinical practice. When I did it long enough to realize that we're all going through the same little illusion, that truly about rowing your boat, row your boat gently down the stream. Merely, life is but a dream. When I realized that we all living that out and we all have the same fears, it manifests differently in this space of isness where everything is, nothing is not. But still, we are all having the same illusion. We're all going through this matrix. And when I saw the patterns, which is really my gift, after seeing so many different people over so many years, I realized I needed to take this to a larger frame. I could work with people one on one, but this message and my understandings, not just my understandings, but I went deep in my knowledge, and so now my understandings, I wanted to bring that to a wide net of people. And so I created the School of Outliers, to be just that. Outlier being a statistical term, which means outside of the norm. If you were in a kindergarten office classroom and you wanted to know the average age, you would throw out the teacher age, because he or she would be they would be the outlier. and so outliers don't fit within the equation. But the thing is that we're all called to be outlier. We just need to embrace that authentic self. And so that my mission statement is to assist others in developing the audacity to live unapologetically authentic. So I moved into the influencer space. Never thought I would do this. Did not want to be in front of people, YouTube and all this other stuff. I was a preacher's kid. I was born a preacher's kid. So for me, the limelight early on, the way that symbolically, what that represented to me was being in front of a group of people that can pick you apart. I saw pitchforks when I thought about like YouTube subscribers and this and that, So there was a lot of growth, personal growth I had to go through because I realized that this path is part of my purpose. So I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't walk away from it. So now I'm building up the School of Outliers. I have life coaching services right now. My free offering, and it's a big one. I begin a masterclass called Update Your Algorithm. And with that masterclass, I'm really teaching a lot of the foundational truths that we need to understand, and then get a deeper understanding so we can break free from these repeat patterns that many of us are locked in. Einstein said, and I'll stop with this, Einstein said that tomorrow's problems can't be solved with today's thinking. And so many of us continue to try to solve tomorrow's problems with yesteryear's thinking, and then we end up experiencing the same thing again and again and feeling those same familiar feelings. And then we're asking ourselves, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep on going through the same thing again and again and again? And it's because the mind is a software. It was designed to be, the brain is a hardware, the mind is a software. We were designed to constantly be updated and adapt to change. Survival of the fittest was based off of the species that could adapt to change. All right, that's my whole intro.
No, that is awesome. I love that. Well, first off, let me say, I love I love everything that you're about, finding truly our authentic self, moving forward and doing amazing things based on, yes, changing and adapting, because our society and our surroundings and environment is continuously changing and adapting. And if we don't change and adapt with it, what's going to happen? And if we want to excel and move beyond, be an outlier, we have to be willing to do that. And we have to be willing to think differently. And a lot of times too, I believe, I don't know if you've ever read Craig Groeschel's book, but the subtitle is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And I love that, because if you want to change your life, if you want to do great things and be better, you got to change the way you think, because the definition of insanity is basically what you were just talking about, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That doesn't happen. So, and I want to go back to what you said, and we just put it on the screen there. Outliers don't fit within the equation. So you can say whatever you want, but I'd like for you to touch on that a little deeper, because I love that statement. Go ahead.
I've gotten multiple requests to ring the glitter bell. Is it okay if I push the button?
Oh, please do. Ring the glitter bell. Come on.
All right. There we go.
There you go. Noopy is now happy. Noopy is a happy person.
Like, ring it, please. Oh, my goodness. But outliers don't fit within the equation.
She's cheering you on there. Ringing the glitter bell. There you go. All right. Okay. Keep going. Sorry.
So I came across this term. I have 3 degrees, associate in industrial technology, bachelor's in sociology with a concentration in criminology, and my master's is in social work. But in sociology, I love the fact that I learned about this deviance class I took. And that in sociological statistics is where I learned about the phrase outlier. And outliers not fitting in. And so as I'm being introduced to this concept, I'm thinking about all the other times that I was the outlier, not by choice. And I always viewed that through a very negative lens. But as you said earlier, perception is reality. But in truth, perception or reality is a projection of our perception, and our perception is programmed based off of certain things that we experience. So when was sitting in these classes, I realized that I've deviated from the norm based off of statistics. This was not supposed to be my route. Based off of statistics, I was supposed to be another statistic, And so my entire path, time and time again, it showed me that I was designed to be an outlier because I was put in spaces such as being the last one of the only one who identified as an African American male to graduate, to walk across the stage for my high school graduation. There was a situation in our community, and there were a lot of arrests. And some of my peers in high school, a lot of them were arrested, and the other brother, he dropped out. And so I was the only one who identified as an African American male who graduated in my high school. Fast forward, my master's program, this many years beyond, fast forward my master's program, same deal, and there were so many other situations and times I can say that I looked around. I didn't realize because I'm just following where I'm being led at. But when I finally looked around, I realized I broke some type of barrier that typically, based off of statistics, I'm in a space that I was never supposed to be in based off of what statistics. So I've always been an outlier in that respect. But then when I learned about even twins or quadruplets, how many children coming into being is pretty much right behind each other, that they all have a different set of fingerprints. You see, we were all designed to be unique. We weren't designed to just fit within some Ken and Barbie doll mold. We weren't designed to be factory workers. So even the way that the schooling system and whatnot is set up, schooling is still based off industrial age, teaching people to be factory workers. It's still based off of indoctrination as opposed to education in many respects. We still get educated through school. You got to learn math and all these other different things, all these different this spelling, all these different subjects. They're important so we can function. But when you look at the schooling system and you look at all of them in its totality, and this is another thing I learned in sociology as well as social work, there's savage inequalities where you have the majority of the schooling system set up to teach people how to be governed, and then yet the more affluent schooling systems teach their children how to govern. It's a completely different education here. In our public education system is still, in my opinion, still based off of indoctrination. So to break that mold, to not be a Ken and Barbie doll, you got to be an outlier. You got to make some decisions that the bulk of what you're around, your peer, that they're not ready to make. They may judge you for making, but understand this, as a mental health clinician, one of the jobs I had was in an emergency room. I did psychiatric assessments in the ER of one of the major hospitals here. And if somebody came into a room with me and told me that they saw somebody and I didn't see that person, I'm going to go, Houston, we have a problem. There may be some psychosis going on, but understand we treat each other that same way. When you have a dream and you have a vision that you see and nobody else sees, a lot of people going to respond to you like you throw it off, like you're quote unquote crazy. But it ain't for everybody to see. And that's where you have to be an outlier and choose to be courageous and lean into that discomfort, because you got to go after your truth. It's not about being safe. Sailboats are safest at the harbor, but they were never built to remain docked. You got to lean into your discomfort and freedom, knowing that freedom exists on the side of your fears, because your fears have no idea how strong you truly are. You don't know how strong you truly are until you test yourself. And that's what life calls us to do. That's what life is. Let me stop. Did I expound on that?
I love it. There's so much there. I don't even know where to start. Oh my goodness. First, I wanted to say mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. So much amazing information. I just want to go back to something you said, and that is the school system and society today. We are rubber stamping or taking our little cookie cutter mold and trying to put out people the way that we think they should be. And goes right into what you were saying. We need to be willing to, number one, realize that God created us to be an individual, to do amazing things that only we can do. Well, other people do my job. Well, sure they do, but other people can't do it and don't do it the way you do. Other people can't do and don't do the things you do the way you do them. That is what separates you. People talk to me all the time, Harry. How do I differentiate myself in the marketplace? Well, why don't you start with being you? because you are different than the marketplace. And to be that, I love that whole outlier mindset, because you've got to be willing to be different, will be willing to take that chance, be willing to step out and be you, for better or for worse, and just realize you're doing what you're going to do. And some people will like it, some people won't, but you know what? It's okay, because you're being the authentic you, right?
1,000%. The only C I received when I returned to school, because I went to LSU, then I dropped out because at first I was going to be a doctor. That's when I was following the mold. You grow up in a certain culture, it's like at that time it was mainly lawyer, doctor that was in my perceptual awareness to choose from. I thought that was my only choices. So there was a lot of experiment and going down the wrong path I had to go through too. But even when we still stumble forward. So I'm grateful for that time, because I needed that time to mature and understand. But when I returned back, I completely lost my train of thought just now. Wait, what was the last thing you said? I'm sorry, because it sparked something. I completely lost my train of thought.
No, it's all right. Well, I was talking about the mold that everybody's in, and talking about being different and being willing
That's
to
it.
take a chance. There you go.
Thank you. Deviate. So when I returned back to school and took a deviance class, that was the only C I earned in my undergraduate. When I came back, I had a fire up under me because I finally was in something I was passionate about, sociology. I didn't realize that was it. That was my calling, but yeah, it really was. So I got a C, and I know it was a C because the teacher, she made sure to make sure that I knew that she did that on purpose, but we would go back and forth because I would challenge her concept of deviance. And so she would, during this time in our polity, they spoke about deviance as being, it was like a buzzword for somebody negative and somebody that you need to hate and fear. And so in that class, because I was familiar with where we were in the political environment, I stood up and I said, no, there were positive deviants too. And all deviants, all outliers in some form of fashion gets ostracized and penalized for being an outlier. But you still have to be courageous. I said, there are positive outliers like Mahatma Gandhi, regardless of him being a controversial figure in history. There's MLK. There's Malcolm X. There's so many different outliers, and society treated those outliers the same way they treated people who are considered criminals. Whenever you move outside of what is norm, whatever society say you should do, you get penalized for it. That's the way it's been up. When you are dealing with people who have been indoctrinated as opposed to educated, when you deal with people who are educated, truly educated, to the point to where they can do critical thinking skills, and other people's reality is not a threat or danger to them that they have to constantly attack. When you're dealing with educated people, they can help you expand your awareness, your level of consciousness, by making you aware of different things, not trying to indoctrinate you, but giving you more gas, your mind more gas, so that it can see further and you can move from what I call eye level, where you're looking at life through this snapshot lens, to sky level, where now you can see the panoramic view. And when you begin to see that panoramic view, it's almost like you can predict things before they occur. And that requires you to be a deviant, because you were born on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. It doesn't matter whether you realize your purpose or not. You were born on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose. You have a gift, something that only you can bring into this world. And we need you to be your most authentic self so you can do that. Being a Ken and Barbie doll, following the mold, that will not get it done. We need you to be you. We need you to be unapologetically authentic about being you, no matter how scary it may seem. We need you to update that algorithm,
Right.
I'm gonna pause right
and
here.
that is, my goodness. Again, mic drop, mic drop. There's so much information every time you talk. I don't even know where to start. It's so good. But so, this is what I'm thinking. Don't accept what people say you are or what you should be, because you come out a certain way. Especially, I'm reading a great book on heroes in life, and I just finished it. And this book is about a gentleman who had a son. Part of the story was his son had a disability, had autism. He was immediately labeled and told from as a small child, he would not succeed. He would not graduate from high school. He would not go to college. He would not be successful. He would not have a good life. Basically, they just told him and his parents that. And his mother and father said, nope. And his mother jumped in to gear and actually was his advocate, working with people and letting him be who he was and achieve and grow and realizing he was special and had to do some things different. He didn't fit into the cookie cutter mold. And it doesn't matter whether you have a disability or not. This was just a good example. He didn't fit into the cookie cutter mold of the way we teach and indoctrinate kids in school, like you talked about. But when she worked with him, not only did he graduate from high school, but he graduated from college, and he has a good job and he has a good life because she didn't accept that and she didn't let him accept that. So it's amazing when you really realize that it doesn't matter how God made you, he made you specially to do special things and not to be like everybody else. And you don't need to listen. Others do not define who you are. Others do not define what your future is going to be. Right, Harry?
Other people can only give you a snapshot of what they see, but you have to put the puzzle together to see the full picture, because only you were designed to see that. That's your spiritual journey. That's between you and God. And in that space, it's a two-seater car. Everybody else, you can exclude everybody else's opinion. It's just noise. You can tune all that out. But yes, only you can truly discover who it is, who you truly are, because only you can feel and experience those deeper values, those root core values that you also came into beingness with, and then tap into that. So much of our process is not so much a discovering who we are, but a remembering who we've always been, dropping what we've inherited based off of fears, not only from our parental figures, the guardians, but from society at large, operating according to the frequency of fear, dropping those inherited beliefs and behaviors that are fear rooted, and then moving back what's truly inherent to us, where we were curious, where we were confident, where we had this certain confidence that no matter what we faced, even if we stumbled, we still knew that we stumbled forward. And so we still took those risks. When we move back into that as an adult, that childlike curiosity and wonder with life. And that's when you begin to discover your path. George Bernard Shaw, as far as being an outlier, he said, the reasonable man seeks to adapt himself to the world. The unreasonable man seeks to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress is dependent on the unreasonable man. You got to be unreasonable.
That's right. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. That's amazing. I'm thinking back to, what you said a while back too. You were designed with a purpose for a purpose, and you've got to quit accepting other people's definition of reasonability. I think that so often people put us in a box and they have a premise about a situation, our life, whatever. And we just need to stand up, like you said, be a person that says, yeah, I don't accept that. I'm not going to be reasonable the way you want me to be reasonable. I'm going to get out there and achieve and do amazing things because I can. And I don't have to listen to what you say. It's always good to be, I'm all for mentors and people that speak into your life and good, positive people around you. I'm a firm believer what Jim Rohn says, that we are the average of the 5 people closest to us, and that we should surround ourselves with amazing people. That's why you're my friend, Harry. I need people like you speaking in my life. But at the end of the day, we get to choose. My whole premise of live the life you choose. You live the life you choose. And people tell me all the time, Harry, I don't get to choose my life. I go, oh, yes, you do. They said, no, but I can't choose what happens to me. I said, absolutely, you're correct. You can't. Life happens, and then you choose. Then you make choices, right? You are dealt whatever you're dealt, and then you get to choose where you go from there. Harry, I'm going to give you the last word because we're going to have to wrap this up. But guess what? We're going to do a part 2 because this is too good. We're going to do another one. So I'll give you last word and then tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Okay. You touched on so much. Yeah, we definitely have to do a part 2. But the lit process for me, lit represents live in truth or living in your truth. That's the path of authenticity. When you look at the highest rates of happiness, because too many of us are pursuing happiness instead of inviting happiness in. Happiness is not a destination to be reached, but the way that we travel. So to be lit up is to move in your authentic space where you truly invite in that happiness. And now your motivation gets turned on autopilot. You don't feel like you have to push yourself. It pushes you. You don't possess it. It possesses you and moves you. So the 5-step process begins with acceptance, because you can't change what you don't accept, and then the clarity comes in. When that clarity comes in, it comes in because acceptance also ushers in peace. You can't get clarity until you have some peace and be still. So acceptance is the first step. The second one is clarity. The third step is reconditioning. The fourth step is envisioning. And guess what? The last step is choosing. And that's my process for walking people back into what is inherent to them. But we don't have time to go through all that. But I mentioned the lit process, or the lit effect, because of what you just said about the choosing. You see, we don't choose. Jung says asking the right question is half the solution. And so we're not asking ourselves the right question. And so the right questions. And so we're not choosing based off of our authentic self. Indeed, the choosing that we're doing has already been chosen for us, because we've been programmed to choose those choices. I could say that for part 2. But if you want to get in touch with me, the masterclass, I'm doing it once a month. I'm building this community so we can all learn, grow, and feed each other. And so you can reach me at becomeanoutlier.com. /links, LINKS. And when you see at the top of links, because there'll be several links, 5 of them to be specific, it's update your algorithm masterclass. I implore you, it's going down. I'm talking about all of this deep stuff, cognitive schemas, all that stuff. You can reach me there. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. You're such a gifted, I've learned, I took notes as you were speaking earlier. So thank you so much. It's such a blessing to be in communion and to be connected with your brother.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, Harry. I ditto, man. I can't even tell you what a blessing you are to me. And I want to tell everybody that's watching, number one, there is going to be a part 2. As soon as Harry and I jump off, we're going to schedule another one. So we'll talk more about the LIT program and all of that, and we'll go deeper. But number 2, there's all of his connection information. It's in the comments. It's in the show notes. It's clickable. That's right. You just click and you're with Harry on his page, on his sites. That's all you got to do. It's that easy. You know what? There's no excuse for you not to connect with this amazing man. So I want you to get out there, connect with Harry, make it happen. And then you will be as blessed as I am, because you'll get to spend time talking with him and he can enlighten you even deeper. So Harry, listen, I'm going to say thank you, send you to the green room, but hang tight for just a sec. I'll be right there and we'll schedule part 2. Hey, everybody. Okay. Amazing, 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 amazing. Incredible. I am so blessed. I say it all the time, but man, it gets better all the time. I don't know how it's possible. I am so blessed with people like Harry that speak into my life, that add value. And I'm telling you, this show today, you need to share this out now. If you didn't do it before, now is the time. And just share, share, share. Get it out there, because you know what? It sits on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. You can watch it tonight, tomorrow, the next day. And guess what else? I didn't even mention this part. All of these convert to podcasts. It's available on your favorite podcast platform also. So you can drive in your car and you can listen on iTunes or Amazon or Spotify, whatever you want to do. And you can listen to Harry there. So there you go. You can skip over me and just listen to Harry. There So, and don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. I told you before, just go to marketingwithruss.live, subscribe. Harry is amazing. And there's been so many other amazing people you don't want to miss. So not only can you watch him and have that information, but then you can see the other people that have been on the show. And now we are at, I'm losing track, 200 and whatever episodes. I'm sure that it'll magically appear in the comments here in just a moment how many episodes we're on, but I've lost track. And so there's been a lot of amazing people. So again, don't forget, we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday and Thursday, every week, every month, always here for you. So if you want to get in touch with me again, please go to russhedge.com. Please go there. And that's the wrong thing that I just put up, but we're going to get it. We're going to get the right one here in a sec. There we go. russhedge.com. There you go. And you can connect with me. I would love, hey, no strings. I just want to be your friend. Reach out to me. Let's chat. You know, when Harry and I got together and we talked, I didn't sell him anything. He didn't sell me anything. I found out what an amazing human being he was, and we became friends. And that's what it's all about. That is what true connection is about. And the reason I love the fact that he and I are going to do a part 2 is because I'm a lifetime connector. I always joke with everybody. If you know me, you've heard it. you're stuck with me as your friend now because I am a lifetime connector. I'm not a one and done. I'm not, let's connect and I send a message and then I disappear. That's not me. And it is a two-way street though. I love the give and take. So please connect with me. Let's definitely become friends, and I appreciate that. So that's all that I have for you today. Don't forget, Monday and Thursday, Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. This tonight is a special episode. I accidentally put down the wrong thing a minute ago. RussReels.live is going to be on tonight with an amazing panel, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Woo! Harry was incredible, and now I got a whole group for you tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about a new year and new opportunities. And that is my word of the year, opportunities. So it's going to be great. So until we see you guys again, have a great day and a great life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.